So what is it that you're looking for when relocating here to the Dallas, Texas area? Obviously, depending on where you're going to move throughout the country, there's some different things that you might be interested in when making that move. Are you looking for scenery? Are you looking to be part of the big city? Are you looking for amenities? What is it that you're looking for when making that move? Well, today we want to focus on a beautiful city and a great location when you relocate here to the Dallas, Texas area. And the city we want to focus on today is the city of Rockwall, Texas. Now, Rockwall might not be for everybody. It might be because of the location. It might be because of what it has to offer. But there are a lot of reasons why people are moving to Rockwall, why people want information on Rockwall. And today we want to focus on it just because we did actually help a client move out to Rockwall recently and they absolutely loved it. And we kind of want to touch on some points of why they were wanting to make the move out to the Rockwall area. So we'll get into a little bit of the history, the pros and the cons, the location, and what it is that might set Rockwall apart to make you a little bit more interested in living in that particular city. Now, before we get started, my name is Kristen Carpentier. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I specialize in relocation and helping people make the Dallas area their home. So if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Let me know how I can help you make that smooth move here to the Dallas, Texas area. All right, so where is Rockwall and is it going to be the right fit for you? Rockwall is going to be northeast of the Dallas area. So it's going to be over on the east side, straight up I-30 over on, let's say, the east side of Lake Ray Hubbard. If you do have to commute to downtown Dallas, which technically not everybody really has to do. Dallas is so big, you could be commuting all over the Metroplex. So if you're living in Fort Worth, Rockwall isn't going to be the right fit for you. So Rockwall, like I said, about 30 minutes from downtown Dallas, straight up I-30 east of Lake Ray Hubbard. Now that could be the big con for moving to the city of Rockwall is its location. The biggest part about it is heading up I-30, it's going to take you 30 minutes to get to downtown Dallas, and that is only if there's no traffic and it is not rush hour. Because if it is rush hour, there's pretty much one way across the bridge, across down I-30, and if there's any sort of an accident, any sort of a problem going on I-30, you could be stuck there for days. Okay, maybe not days, but you could be stuck there for a while just because there really isn't a lot of other ways to get around to downtown Dallas. Of course, you can head up north a little bit and go over through Wiley. You can head down south and go through Forney. But if there's any sort of an accident, everybody's going to be taking those roads and they're not as big and as popular and as easily accessible. So it could be an absolute nightmare when there is an accident. So definitely that's going to be one of the cons. But there are so many pros for why people may still want to consider living in the city of Rockwall. Now, like I said, Rockwall is actually going to border Lake Ray Hubbard over on the east side. Now, that is definitely one of the biggest pros because of its location. Now, here in Texas, everything is flat. People talk about it all the time. It's so flat. And at one point I was talking to a friend of mine and another agent, and I was like, Texas pretty much has a few little baby rolling hills. And we were talking, no, it's not rolling hills. Let's just call it some rolling flatland because Texas is so flat. And until you get here and until you realize it, back in Arizona, when I said we came from where it was super flat, at least you could see the mountains in the distance. Yes, it could take you a couple hours to get up to, let's say, the snow in the wintertime, but you could see some mountains. We'll call them mountains because that's pretty much what they were. You could take the mountains up through and get to the lake or to go hiking. And here in Texas, no, we pretty much have rolling flatland. There might be a little baby hill you could get to, but we really don't have any sort of mountains that you can see anywhere here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So the rolling flatlands, but you are going to find a little bit more of that over in the city of Rockwall, which is actually quite beautiful. When you do get into Rockwall and the different communities and neighborhoods all throughout and around that particular city, there are a lot of beautiful winding roads. You have these big, beautiful trees that hang over the streets, and it just really is a beautiful area. So many communities and areas that are along the lake. There is still new construction going on over there, and there really is a lot of things to do in the city of Rockwall. Granted, it doesn't really have a big, huge nightlife scene, but there still is a lot going on in the city of Rockwall. There is tons of areas to go shopping, dining, restaurants from the old town to the harbor area along the lake, and just lots of opportunities for things to do. It does really give you a little bit more of that small town feel. Even though Rockwall has continued to grow, it is getting a lot busier. New construction, like I said, is still happening, so the city is still continuing to expand, but everything is there. If there's a Costco in the city, it's growing quite rapidly. And there is a Costco in the city of Rockwall, which is a huge bonus for those of us with families and especially teenage boys who have a tendency to eat a lot. The Costco is going to be serviced by cities like Heath, Forney, even Fate and Rice City. And everybody's going to come into town, hence making Rockwall kind of like that hub of where you're going to go and get everything that you need. There's the Target and the Home Depot and everything that you're going to need on a daily basis, all right there in the city of Rockwall. So if you don't have to commute downtown, or you don't have to commute to any of these other major cities here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you really have everything at your fingertips, and you really don't need to leave unless you absolutely have to or want to. So Rockwall is a beautiful area. There's a lot going for it, and it's certainly, because of the beauty and the location, and not to mention the school district, is a reason why a lot of people are wanting to move there. Now, as we get into a little bit more of the demographics here in the city of Rockwall, currently the population is around 48,000 people. And according to the MLS, I like to pull data every single month about what's happening on in these particular housing markets in the particular cities. And for the month of December, the housing prices in the city of Rockwall, according to the MLS, like I said, are just over $525,000. That's the median price of a home. As you can see from the chart, it does have a tendency to vary quite a bit, obviously based on sales and how the market's going. Obviously, here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we're still needing a lot more inventory to come on the market, but just kind of showing you the data of what is currently happening. That's what we're looking at for the median price of a home here in Rockwall. But you can also find existing pre-owned homes below $300,000 and all the way up of multi-million dollars in Rockwall as well. But when you are looking at new construction, because we do get a lot of questions about what you have for new construction, there are new construction homes starting in the high $400,000 range, just to just over $1 million. You can get, your typical 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,600 square foot home for, $465,000. Or you can get a $1.2 million home that's 3,300 square feet, really practically on the lake. Maybe you want a boat dock, that you can have those options in Rockwall as well. And you can also get a 4,000 square foot home for $1.2 million as well, maybe a little bit further away from the lake. So definitely a lot of options for pre-owned homes and new construction just within the city of Rockwall, which is a huge bonus. Now, when we go back and talk a little bit about the history of Rockwall, the reason why I do want to touch on this just a little bit is that it actually has quite a fascinating history. But a lot of people believe that back in prehistoric times that they actually built this wall out of rocks. So nobody really knows for sure, nobody can really tell, but it really got its name based on a rock wall that was discovered when somebody dug in the ground out there in that city. So just a little bit of fun fact about the city of Rockwall. Now, one of the big features and bonuses for living in the city of Rockwall, like I said, is Lake Ray Hubbard. Now, Lake Ray Hubbard is actually one of the largest lakes in North Texas. It spans around 22,000 acres and is approximately 8 miles long by 4 miles wide. And because of that and how it goes north and south, because it's really long and how wide it is, one of the things that I actually missed when moving here from Arizona, I always thought Arizona had the most phenomenal sunsets. But when you get over along the lake, like I said, there is a lot of housing along the lake. The harbor that is there for shopping and dining and some of the bars and things that are out there. If you're out there during the evening when the sun starts to set, or maybe you're out on your boat spending the day on the lake, when the sun starts to set out on Lake Ray Hubbard, it is absolutely stunning. There's just something to be said for the wide open lake and the water, and then just being able to see off into the horizon. You get some phenomenal sunsets by being out there on Lake Ray Hubbard. So because Rockwall pretty much borders Lake Ray Hubbard right there on the east side, you're going to be absolutely blown away if you are out there at sunset. Just one of our favorite things. We have been out there for dinner. I've been out there showing homes, and it just really is beautiful. And I am all about the scenery here in Texas, so that really is one of my favorite things here in the state of Texas and when I'm out in the city of Rockwall. So certainly something to check out, even if you don't happen to live there. But as I talk, like, there's so many things to do. One of the main probably two main areas that a lot of people tend to hang out maybe on the weekends. And one of them is the Harbor District. If you are down there there's a Hilton Hotel on the lake right there with a big pool, and they're building a big lagoon and things out there along Lake Ray Hubbard. And so you have plenty of areas to go out and go shopping and dining, like I had mentioned. If you want to get your hair done, there's salons out there. So many different features and areas right there along the lake in the Harbor District. But there's also an Old Town area in the city of Rockwall as well. Now, here in the Dallas area, that's probably another one of my favorite things to do. There's not very many. I would say my favorite ones are Rockwall, McKinney, downtown Grapevine, for example. Their little Old Town districts are some of my favorites, and Rockwall is right up there on my list. It's a great little Old Town area. There's some great restaurants and boutiques out there in the Old Town area, and they have different events and things that go on throughout the year, whether it's Christmas time or different holidays or music fests. They're going to find that in the Old Town area. So there really, like I said, is a lot of things to do, a lot of ways to connect with the community. Hence why I say that even though the town is growing, even though it's still getting quite busy and expanding further outside of Rockwall, why you still really get that small town charm in the city of Rockwall because of the little Old Town district and the events and things that happen right there. I love the restaurants that are locally owned, and people just want to be part of the community and, try to have a thriving business in the area. And that's what you're going to find in the Old Town downtown area of Rockwall. So certainly one of our favorites. Definitely go check on the local calendar and see what type of events are happening, and you should most certainly check it out. So another reason why a lot of families are actually wanting to move to the city of Rockwall is because of its highly rated school district. Now, it is the Rockwall Heath School District, and according to niche.com, it does get an A rating. It's known for its sports, it is growing, and it really is a wonderful school district. Like we talk about all the time here in the Dallas area, we have a lot of great school districts, a lot of great areas that people with kids are wanting to move to, and even people without kids are wanting to move to, because I do talk about that as well. People retire here to Texas, or people move here to be closer to family and grandkids, and they still want to be in a good area, in a good school district, because they know how well the property values will hold in those particular areas. And that is certainly one of the things to be said for the Rockwall Heath Independent School District. So if you have any more questions about that, do a little bit more research. And if you have any questions at all, reach out to us and let us know how we can help answer those questions. But regardless of where you want to move here in the Dallas area, if Rockwall is the right fit for you, or maybe any of these other cities all throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area, don't hesitate to reach out. I am an open book. I love helping people make the Dallas area their home, and I love my clients. So don't hesitate to reach out. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Let my team and I help you find the perfect spot for you when making that move here to the Dallas, Texas area. And until next time, take care.